Okay, tell me when I got it. Is this good? That's good. All right, if I go back here, that's not good, right? This is good. All right. Good morning, everyone. All right, I can't help myself. I'm gonna channel my friend Tony Kaufman. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. All right, thank you. It works. You know, as I get up here, before I start my bit that I'm offering, I notice that there's this little phrase. Maybe you say it later, I don't know. But it's so beautiful. I'm just going to read it. We affirm and promote respect for the interdependent web of all existence, of which we are a part. Unitarian principle. So as you heard, for those I don't know and who don't know me, my name is Jill De La Hunt. I'm really grateful to be with you on this second full day of summer. I think this is the fourth time I've been at this beloved lectern, and I'm no stranger to the chapel. You have generously hosted our meditation group, Island Insight Meditation Community. That was a plug, people. Every month for many years. We do meet here once a month on Saturdays and would love to see you if ever you should want to come. And thank you for that. We really feel like this is a home for us. And yet, I have to admit, I have as many butterflies in my stomach as ever. So a long exhale, and perhaps you'll join me. Breathing in those concerns and breathing out the joy. In that collective breath, we can actually transmute concerns to the joys. Shared breath. Allowing ourselves to take a moment to feel the solidness of the floor under your feet and sense into earth below. Noticing yourself in the chair. Also, notice the awareness of fellowship surrounding you. How different it would be if you were sitting here alone. It is no coincidence, I think, that our gathering together is called a service. We serve one another. We find and make peace in this collective. As I was preparing for today, I was also struck by the name of this portion of the service, message. I deeply appreciate this. It's like a simple note, a thank you, a gratitude, a thinking of you. A reaching out and a reaching back. The message is not one way. It's this entire service. It's all that goes into making this. It's our folks on Zoom. Hello there. It's Anne in the back. It's those putting together the service and having patience with me. It's the beautiful reading of the poem. Each of those candles and all it represents. We are the message as we meet in care and kindness. His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, in a card sent not just to me, perhaps hundreds of thousands of people, but certainly tens of thousands of people, on the occasion of his 90th birthday says, compassion, loving kindness, and altruism are the keys not only to human development, but to planetary survival. This is my simple religion. There's no need for temples, no need for complicated philosophy. My philosophy is be kind whenever possible, and it is always possible. And this from an awakened bodhisattva among us still who knows what he's talking about. Most of the Tibetan people, pardon me. As we know, most of the Tibetan people are in exile and definitely have experienced cultural genocide. And yet, as the Dalai Lama meets with refugees, with people coming to him with their stories, he'll meet them in tears, and then he'll meet them in laughter. Simply being with whatever it is. So I take these words so much to heart because this is someone who knows what he's talking about. I could, and probably should, just sit down now. Really, what more is there to say? Yet, I'm not quite that wise. So I'm going to share a little bit more in our mutual messaging. I want to first acknowledge that in this congregation, you have experienced many losses. You've experienced many deaths. And I know that there are chairs here that are empty. And I know there are tender hearts. And I offer deep condolences. And also honor those in your dear community who are no longer here in body. Grief is a shapeshifter. It comes in so many forms. The smell of pizza that was always shared on Friday nights. The sound of waves washing across pebbles and shells on a shared favorite beach. The day of the week. The sun shining down. The rain. It is sometimes like a hot knife or a freezing burn. Sometimes numbness. Sometimes a dull ache. Tears can be soothing or wrenching and exhausting. Grief also can leave us feeling deeply alone, even in the midst of others. Even, and sometimes especially, when we're with those we are closest to. And yet, in your community, you also celebrate. You celebrate a life, you light candles of joys and concerns, you march in the Pride Parade, you co-sponsor rallies at Five Corners. You do the things, you care for one another, you show up in just the ways His Holiness is talking about. So I'd like to share a little about the power of collective grief, grieving the myriad losses and separations individually and interpersonally, friends, family, neighbors, but also giving and grief for the climate catastrophe, for injustice, racism, systems of domination, racial capitalism and white supremacy, the targeting of our neighbors, friends, and family members, immigrants, trans folks, Black, Indigenous, and people of color, anti-Semitism and anti-Muslim, war, starvation, thirst, unimaginable suffering, othering on a grand scale. What can we possibly do with this? How do we not collapse in despair? A teacher I have followed for many decades whose name is Joanna Macy. Who here has ever heard of Joanna Macy? Yeah. Extraordinary woman, now 96 years old, who has really traveled the world. She is a Buddhist teacher, wouldn't call herself that, and has taught us much about turning toward the realities of our world in grief and despair, and then turning back out again, in and out. And she says, we are in a space without a map. With the likelihood of economic collapse and climate catastrophe looming, it feels like we're on shifting ground, where old habits and old scenarios no longer apply. In Tibetan Buddhism, such a space or gap between known worlds is called a bardo. It is frightening. It is also a place of potential transformation. Wendell Berry shared us one vision of that, so beautifully read. That was my part, she didn't say that. As you enter the bardo, there facing you is the Buddha Akshobhya. His element, I always say their element is water. They are holding a mirror, for their gift is mirror wisdom, reflecting everything just as it is. And the teaching of Akshobhya's mirror is this: do not look away. Do not avert your gaze. Do not turn aside. This teaching clearly calls for radical attention and total acceptance. So, we set an intention, we make a vow, we do our best to not turn away. There is also a power in our individual pain and in our shared knowing of loss and heartbreak. We can find community. We can find and express authentic love. Quotes from a couple of folks. I use a lot of quotes because people are wiser than I am. This is Bridget Woods, a student of Joanna Macy's. Whenever we journey together, if we can, into the heart of grief, we meet her close companion, love. We learned that grieving together reveals a deep and healing kinship and a radical form of inclusivity that might otherwise be called love. And from Sonbafu Some, communal grieving offers something that we cannot get when we grieve by ourselves. Through validation, acknowledgement, and witnessing, communal grieving allows us to experience a level of healing that is deeply and profoundly healing and freeing. Joanna Macy developed a teaching that is used and practiced all over the world, thousands of people. I'm so sorry, had I thought ahead, I would have it up here for a moment so everyone could see. But she uses what's called the spiral. And this is just one rendition of it. It starts with gratitude, honoring our pain, seeing with new eyes, and going forth. And this is a sort of a curve of a dandelion, and the going forth are the seeds, the wind sending them off. And in just in a simple summary, the spiral, this coming from gratitude, is the place to start because it calms the frantic mind. It allows us, even in that moment, to come back to source. It stimulates our empathy, our confidence. And it just helps us be more present. And again, being with what is. It also opens up the space for acknowledging the pain we carry for the world. And in owning and honoring our pain for the world and daring to experience it, we learn, pardon my frog, we learn the true meaning of compassion, which is to suffer with, but not in, alongside. We begin to know the immensity of our heart-mind. What had isolated us in private anguish now opens outward and delivers us into the wider reaches of our interexistence, our interbeing. And this helps us to see with new and ancient eyes. We can sense how inextricably and intimately we are related to all that is. We can taste our own power to change and feel our living connections with past and future generations, with all our brothers and sisters in species. And then we go forth. We don't just stay there. We go forth into the actions that call each of us. And this is according to our gifts, to our limitations, to what's possible. And we're not waiting for something that's fail-proof. We're not waiting to be perfect. We're not waiting to have the map for it all. Each step is our teacher. And then returning again to gratitude, reviewing our mistakes, grateful for the possibility of doing this again. There are hard things to face in the world, and gratitude offers no blinders, but it does offer connection. In this going forth, we also find healing and wise action, whether it's being able to say we're hurting and reaching out or asking for space for what we truly need, whether it's bearing witness in quiet or active ways, whether it's serving at the pantry, whether it's doing a beach clean, marching for justice, sending postcards, offering a hug. It doesn't need to be dramatic. It's all that love that His Holiness talks about. Clarissa Pinkola Estes, some of us might know her best from her Women That Run With the Wolves, certainly was very influential for me back in the day. She's done a lot of writing. And what she reminds us is that ours is not the task of fixing the entire world all at once, but of stretching out to mend the part of the world that is within our reach. And I just want to share with you a little bit of a much longer letter that she has that is called Do Not Lose Heart. We were made for these times. And it is a letter to a young activist. I'm just going to read just a bit. You can find this online if you like, or I could provide it if people want the whole thing. It's just beautiful. I have heard from so many who are recently deeply and properly bewildered. They're concerned about the state of affairs in our world right now. Ours is a time of almost daily jaw-dropping and astonishment, and often righteous rage over the latest degradations of what matters most. You are right in your assessments, yet I urge you, ask you, gentle you, to please not spend your spirit dry by bewailing these difficult times, and especially do not lose wise hope. Most particularly because the fact is we were made for these times. For years we've been learning, practicing, been training, and just waiting to meet on this exact plane of engagement. I would like to take your hands for a moment and assure you, you are built well for these times. Despite your stints of doubt, your frustrations in writing all that needs to change right now, or even feeling that you've lost the map entirely, you are not without resource. You are not alone. Look out over the prow. There are millions of boats of righteous souls on the waters with you. In your deepest bones, you have always known this. Ours struggling souls catch light from other souls who are fully lit and willing to show it. If you would help to calm the tumult, this is one of the strongest things you can do. In that spirit, I hope you will write this on your wall. When a great ship is in harbor and moored, it is safe, there can be no doubt. But that is not what great ships are built for. She concludes the letter with, this comes with much love and prayer, that you remember who you came from and why you came to this most beautiful, needful earth. And Wendell Berry, the lives our lives prepare will live. And so, the heart breaking open is the heart we all share. No separation. As Malcolm X put it, when we change the I for we, even illness becomes wellness. Thank you. And to close, I'd just like to offer the same song as a meditation. So I invite you to close your eyes, relax in your chair. No sense in pushing or striving. Again, feeling your feet on the floor. And if it's more comfortable for you to have your eyes open, just move your focus down toward the floor and soften it a bit. And I invite you to inhale and exhale. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. Breathing in, I breathe in peace. Breathing out, I breathe out love. All right, thank you, everybody. So, to close us out, this is, in our tradition, we call this dedication of merit. But today we'll call it a benediction. This is by Valerie Brown, wrote this. She is a Buddhist teacher. It's from a book called Healing Our Way Home, Black Buddhist Teachings on Ancestors, Joy, and Liberation. We dedicate the merit of this work for all beings, this service, for all beings everywhere, that we may know peace, we all may know love, we all may feel harmony with the earth and live our daily lives in such a way to honor and to steward the precious resources around us. May we all uncover and make available the enormous treasure inside each one of us, free to be and become our full selves, unhindered by ignorance and oppression. May we find freedom from our illusion of separateness in all our identities. May we welcome rest, healing, love, delight, play, creativity, curiosity, connection, clarity in our being to manifest love in action for our liberation and the liberation of all beings everywhere. Thank you.